Hey guys, so I'd just like to say that before I get started with this video, I'd just like to make a disclaimer. I don't have a script, so if I mess up with my wording or um, if I for some odd reason stutter or stuff like that or get brain fog, there's no turning back from that. So without further ado, let's get started with this video. And if you guys are wondering, I'm half Filipino, half Indonesian. English was my first language that I've learned. And yeah, that's why I kind of developed an accent. So, and for anyone wondering, marunong ako mag-Tagalog. Nag-English lang ako dahil yung mga nakausap ko dito ay English speaking, kaya hindi sila marunong mag-Tagalog. Kaya ayun. And just in case you guys are wondering what I said, I know how to speak Tagalog, but the reason why I prefer speaking English because most of the people who I talk to on YouTube, most people I talk to here are English speaking and do not understand Tagalog. So yeah, I don't know if I completely translated that correctly. Tagalog is really hard to translate, for me at least. So without further ado, let's get started. So I originally started my channel back in 2020. It was in July 2020. So yeah, it was basically during the pandemic times. It was when everyone's stuck indoors here in the Philippines. Yeah, I made that channel, and what I did most of the time was just basically interact with the piano community because I love piano. And actually, my first months on YouTube, I didn't really comment. I just looked at comments, but never really commented back. So I didn't really comment. It was around 2021, I believe, when I started to. Oh yeah, it was around, I think. Actually, it wasn't first month. I commented probably late 2020. Yeah, I probably didn't comment for about a month or two, but I did comment eventually. It was about on some piano videos or piano related videos. So that's what I did before. And back then I wasn't a fox yet. I was a car. So I like cars. So I like specifically Mercedes. So my username was back then Benz, short for Mercedes Benz, and then it became Mercedes Benz. So yeah, at first it was Benz E340. Then I realized that model didn't exist, so Benz E430, yeah, that did exist. And then I made a ridiculous idea to make a really long name, Mercedes-Benz E430 4MATIC, Mercedes-Benz E430 AMG 4MATIC Avant-Garde W140, W220, not W140. W140 came when I decided to make it S600 W140. So yeah, basically that was my life on YouTube, but just hanging out in the piano community. From 2020 up until 2024, I only commented to piano related stuff. But back in 2023, actually 2022 first, so I decided to watch some stuff from my childhood, some cartoons that I used to watch back in the 20-teens. I won't mention it here. It's kind of maybe to my close friends. If you're listening to this, Yeah, and if you're like wondering what I watched, uh, feel free to like ask for my very close friends. Because I honestly feel cringe to like mention it here. um, so, but only to my close friends. I'm not saying some of you guys aren't my close friends, but to the friends who I am mostly comfortable being honest to, are people who I normally trust, that I turned into my channel's moderators. Or not necessarily to the people who made my channel moderators, but to the people I feel very comfortable of like being myself and whatnot. So yeah, back in 2023, I so around okay, so around 2022, I was watching some of my childhood cartoon shows that I used to watch, and then I also came across Saber Fox. During that time, they were like, you know, making really nice stuff. These still are really, they're still making like really nice stuff, and I really do appreciate the things that they're doing to help save foxes from fur farms. But at the same time, as many of you guys know, sad things happened in 2026, and yeah, yeah, it's really sad to talk about. I don't want to like, yeah, it's really emotional right now. So yeah, so I didn't like, but up until that very point, I didn't like comment in any other channels other than piano related stuff. So 2023, I stumbled across the FNAF fandom, and I wasn't like commenting. I was just watching some VR, some FNAF channels that they recorded stuff in VR chat. And Shadow Wolf, you probably know what I'm getting at when I mentioned that. No, Roxanne Wolf and Gregory show. What else? And then the other shows that were also related to that. So yeah, I remember watching a lot of stuff back in the day that I don't watch anymore because either loss of interest or since said channels went off to different directions. Not in a bad way, but not in a bad way. I mean, not in like inappropriate, but more of, how can I say this? Um, Shadow Wolf, if you're like here, you can like comment. So you remember Shadow Wolf? You remember like when the Roxanne Wolf and Gregory show like used to like do really interesting stuff, and now they're just doing like you know what I mean. And they were different back then. So yeah, and then back in 2024, I decided to. No, actually, I didn't decide. I just randomly like scrolling through YouTube. So back in 2024, I stumbled across a channel named Game Tunes, and they like make animations of video games, and yeah, they also make original. They also had original characters, and during that time, it was the dawn of. I wouldn't say dawn, but Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 came out, and everyone was like making their own. If you guys aren't familiar with, you know, the Smiling Critters, they're characters from a game called Poppy Playtime, and that they came out during the Chapter 3. And a lot of people were also like making fan concept smiling critters. And back in January of 2025, January 6th of 2025, came out Frowny Fox. He was made by Game Tunes, and I first found him on a video titled The Reject Critter. So yeah, he's not canon to the game itself. He's just like, a fan-made smiling critter that I liked and decided to make a channel after him. Because, he has a really sad story. So, and I sort of do kind of relate to, in a way, because like I used to feel rejected in terms of while the other kids back then were like playing, I was just like sitting by myself because I can't really interact that much because of my eye problems getting in the way of all things fun. But anyway, 2024, yeah, nothing much really happened, although I did discover the FNAF fandom and then the Smiling Critters fandom. I didn't really interact with anyone. It was during 2025 when I started making my first friend, Foxy's biggest fan, and then Shadow Wolf, and then actually just stumbled across Foxy in a comment section on another channel. What is that name? Angelina Ramirez, and who else? Enrique 126, Zion Wolf Boy, who else? Yes, Cotton Candy the werewolf, and then Wolfie the werewolf, who is also really kind to like make some concept critters for me. They're on my playlist if you guys are interested on so basically during 2025, so I was like I met Wolfie the werewolf somewhere in 2025, so like several months after I met her, I asked her a favor if she could like help me make some concept smiling critters, and there came the Arctic critters, which are in my playlist. I only have two so far because I kind of got mentally drained from all the drama. I want to honestly keep coming up with more characters, but I'm like really drained, to be honest. So if you guys want to check those out, they're in my playlist. And maybe if you guys want, I might leave a link to them in the video description. So anyway, so yeah, the people who I met so far in 2025 were Foxy's biggest fan, BJ, and Foxy's biggest fan, Shadow Wolf, was back then not White Freddy, and then changed to Catnap VA, then just Catnap, and then Shadow. No, he was first not White Freddy, and then he changed his name to Catnap. Then okay, first he was not White Freddy, then he changed his name to Catnap VA, and then just Catnap, and then not White Freddy again, and then finally Shadow Wolf. So yeah, and then there was my friend BJ, and then Enrique, and then Zion, Wolfie Boy, and then who else? um, Cotton Candy the Werewolf, and then Wolfie the Werewolf. Yeah, I have made a lot of friends. Like, oh yeah, Jolly Wolf. So yeah, and then things went up from there. So my first post, I made my first post months before I made my first video, was back in somewhere between April and May of 2025, and then I made my first video, which was just basically me playing piano in a hotel lobby, just showing my arms, not me. I don't want to like show myself. Somewhere in August, and yeah. So during that time, I only had one channel, and then September of okay. So yeah, so I only had one channel during that time, and then I met Milo somewhere in August, and then Felix, the fox. So, and yeah, actually, I have a confession to make. Milo and Felix. Mostly Felix. I actually saw your channel somewhere in 2024, but since I was like a bit hesitant whether I should like talk or not, and during that time I wasn't MB Fox yet. Um, I didn't know what to say or comment, so I just checked your channel out like for a bit and then left. uh, so yeah, I'm sorry. I was just I don't know if I was like shy, but yeah, I don't know if I was like shy back then, but um I did read your description, and back then you said you had your channel is mostly for 18 plus, and yeah, I was honestly like really scared, but eventually, when I met you in 2025, I realized you weren't scary. And during that time, I don't think Milo was making posts yet either, so I didn't get a chance to meet him back in 2024. Also, Milo, you can comment this anytime of the video, but I remember you saying you made your channel back in, you made your character back in 2020, but when was the first time you actually made uh, your content? Was it literally last year, or you had an old channel before? Um, yeah, I just wanted to know. I was like curious. So yeah, I met Milo, and then Felix, Mocha, and then it grew, and then I met all of you guys. So yeah, first was Milo and Felix, and then in September 12, 2025, I founded my other channel, which was first named MB Foxtrot W126, and the handle name was MB Foxtrot V8. So yeah, it was Mercedes. Yeah, W140 and W126. So yeah, so my original plan for that channel was just to be a substitute for this channel, just in case something bad happened, because there were like a lot of glitches, and it was also after YouTube decided to make AI age verification, and I was thinking if I was going to lose some of my friends that were under 18, I might as well move on. But I'm glad I didn't lose any of my friends who were under 18. So yeah, and after that, So after everything, back in 28, after everything that happened, yeah, everything got okay again, and I'm glad I didn't lose any of my friends who are under 18. So, and if any one of you guys are wondering, I mostly do not 18 plus stuff here, and yeah, it's also because I'm blind. I can't draw or stuff. But if I did draw, I would not make anything 16 plus. So yeah. I met Milo somewhere in August, then Felix, but I did meet Felix back in 2024. I did see Felix back in 2024, but it wasn't until 2025 when I was getting more confident to talk to people who weren't from the piano community. So yeah, and then Mocha, and then the rest of you guys. So yeah, feels like yesterday, I was just making my first project, and now we're here. And it's really amazing. I started my other channel, Sad Frowny Fox, back in December 39, 2025, and then my fourth channel, Ace the Fox, in 2026, somewhere in April or May, somewhere in May 2026. And I'm honestly really grateful for Milo for giving him to me. Originally, he was Milo's character. I mean, if you literally open his channel, you will see a video called Ace the Fox Steals Milo's Camera. That's Ace. And Milo gave him to me because, he's a really great friend. I didn't ask for Ace, he just gave him to me, and I really can't thank you enough, Milo, for doing something like that to me. Yeah, I'm so really speechless you did that. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for the support, and for my very close friends, thank you for being here through thick and through thin, because I've been going through a lot as of recent. And yeah, and I'm sorry that I didn't mention all of you guys: Kevin, Hunty, Luna. Yeah, I met them. I know I met you guys somewhere in 2026. And yeah, thanks for being great friends for me as well. So yeah, and again, if you're listening to this long and you're wondering and you're thinking I am not really controlled in my, yeah, again, I don't have a script, so I'm basically making stuff as I go, or trying to recollect memories of of the past up until now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all the love and support you guys give, and for my subscribers, thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot, and I'm still gonna keep making content for y'all to enjoy, and even if I'm not at my best mentally, I will still try to be there for you guys if you guys ever need it. So thank you guys, and yeah, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, comments, or post. And I forgot to say this in the video, but happy anniversary to my channel on this coming 22nd. And yeah, I really am grateful that I met you guys, and I didn't come I didn't end up with the wrong people. Because especially in the furry fandom, I know there are a lot of like toxic people, and I'm very grateful I didn't come across that. So again, to my close friends, thank you for being there, and for all the people who I've interacted and subscribed to. Thank you guys for, you know, your. Thank you for welcoming me into your channels, and you know, for not basically not being mean to me, and for still responding. So thanks guys, and yeah, see ya.